भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्ट्वांसत्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। So we were looking into the second Mundaka, the sixth verse we saw last, correct? So let us chant that. Tasmadritaha Samayajugumshi Diksha Yajñāsya sarve kratavo dakshināsya samvatsarāsya यजमानश्च लोकाः सोमो यत्र पवते यत्र सूर्यः So we were looking at this particular verse. The second Mundaka, the Tatparya, the intention of the Veda is to reveal that all that is here is Brahman. Okay. So that is the original question also. So the question of the student is Kasminu Bhagavo Vijñāte Sarvamidam Vijñātam Bhavati iti. So by knowing that which everything else is as well known. What is that thing? Is there such a thing? That is the question. And as part of that answer now, the Veda is showing us that all that is here is nothing but Brahman. And Brahman is the cause of everything. And if we know that Brahman as the cause of everything, everything else which are all effects of that cause, they are nothing but names and forms only. So names and forms do not have independent existence. Like, for example, you can say there is a elephant made up of stone. Now if somebody who does not know that it is a stone elephant can look at it, okay, and then even feel afraid that an elephant is there, it is going to attack me or something like that. Because they are taking the name and form to be the reality, and it is frightening because the elephant has been sculpted in a frightening manner, let us say, as though it is going to attack you. So if a child sees that, or even if an adult sees that elephant in a dim light or whatever, you may mistake it for a real elephant and start running maybe. That is because you took the name and form to be the reality. But what is the reality there? That it is just stone, correct? If you look at it as stone, then there is no fear. And again, a stone elephant is nothing but stone really. because stone alone is the substance. The name and form does not have any independent existence other than being that stone. If you remove the stone element also is gone. But you can remove the stone form and still may retain the stone in some other form. So the substance is independent of the names and forms. But the names and forms, nama rupaha, themselves are dependent on the substance. This is true in so many ways, correct? We have other analogies also given by the Shastra. In fact, Chandogya talks about iron nail cutter. So in the Vedic times, they had a Natha Nikranjanam, like that, there is a word is there. So nail cutter is talked about, and it says that even because nail cutter has a utility also, correct? So it is not just name and form, even utility is all part of this Mithya only, Mithya Jagat. So name, forms and utility are all dependent on the actual substance for their very existence. They don't have an independent existence by themselves. And if you know the substance, you have as well known that whole world of the names and forms. So if you know gold, then you know the entire gold world. The gold can be in any form. It can be in the form of a chain. It can be in the form of a ring. It can be in some other form, maybe. Whatever may be the form. But the substance is gold. And if you have understood it as gold, then there is only one thing to be counted, correct? So even this is true even if you go to some, let us say you go to a pawnbroker, correct? We have all these lenders in India who lend you money by taking gold. Now for you, each piece of jewelry is a dear thing, correct? It is maybe even a family heirloom. So you are attached to it, each chain, each maybe earring or bangle. They are all different things. But if you go to the pawnbroker is a jnani with respect to the gold. For the pawnbroker, gold alone counts. It doesn't count whether you have it as a chain or a bangle and all that. They just weigh it and take the weight of the gold. So from the drishti of the cost, correct, the material cost, there is only one. Now that is what Shruti is trying to show here. So you can see here, for a Vaidika, the Vaidika rituals are very, very important. Understand that. So with reference to the rituals which are talked about in the Veda and the Purva Bhaga, different things are there, correct? The Yajamana, the one who is the doer, Yajamana has to be there first. Yajamana only organizes the entire Vedic ritual, whatever may be, right? From Agnihotra to Ashwamedha, there are different rituals are there. And in the Yajna or Homa, you have to chant different mantras. They are all from the 4 Vedas. Okay. So here it says, so there is a Rig Veda, Sama Veda and Yajur Veda also. Rig means basically looking at Chandas. Understand that. There is a certain Chandas are there, meters. Gayatri means so many, like 24 syllables have to be there. And there are some rules are there with reference to that. Different Chandas are there, Gayatri, Anushtup, Trishtup, like that. So the Rig mantras are all following a certain meter. Then Sama is slightly different. It is also the same Rig mantra, but sung in a particular manner. Okay, that is why it is Sama is special. In fact, Bhagavan Krishna in the Gita says that Vedanam Samavedosmi, like that. So Samaveda has a speciality because it is not only having the mantra, but the mantra itself is sung in a particular manner. Samagana, we say. Then Yajur Veda or Yajus means prose portion. There is no meter. It is just prose. where mostly how to do the different Vaidika rituals are all talked about in Yajurveda. So all these things are Brahman only, are from Brahman only. Tasmat here means from this Brahman alone. Rig, Sama and Yajus, all these things have come. Then the Diksha means you have to take a vow. If you want to do a ritual, we always have to take a certain vow, and that is also from this Brahman alone. Because how do you know what kind of a vow you have to take? That is also given in the Veda only. Veda only is revealing everything. If you take the Purva Bhaga, the Veda only is revealing to you what you have to do. For example, Swarga Kamaha Jyotishtomena Yajeta. So one who is desirous of Swarga has to do Jyotishtoma. Like that the Veda can say. Okay. Now, if you are desirous of Swarga, you do Jyotishtoma means, again both the sadhana or the means, which is in this case Jyotishtoma, and the end, okay, the Loka, Swarga Loka, are revealed by Veda only. Understand that. You cannot know it from any other means of knowledge. Veda alone tells you that there is a Swarga Loka, and there is a description of the Swarga also, how Swarga is, etc. And to go to that Swarga Loka, you require a lot of Punya, and to gain Punya, you have to do all this karma. Like that, Veda is only revealing all these things. And what you have to do in that karma also is revealed by Veda itself. So, both the sadhana and sadhya are revealed by the Veda only. And all these things are from this Brahman alone. Understand that. That is the idea here. So, including the vow you take there. Then yajñāsya sarve pratamaha. So, different yajñāha here means those which do not have the sacrificial pole are called yajñā. And kratu means it is a slightly bigger karma, you can say. So both type of karma, whether you do Agnihotra or whether you are doing a Vajapeya yajñā, all of them are from this Brahman alone. And even what dakshina you have to give, because any Vaidika karma, dakshina is very important. So you have to give dakshina. The Veda itself says what you have to give, so many cows, or you should not give silver, like that there are some restrictions are all there. What you can give, what you should not give, those things are also given. So what dakshina you have to give. Then samvatsara also is from Brahman. Samvatsara means year normally. Okay. So samvatsara here means the year in the sense means time. Because even to do a Vaidika karma, the timing is very important. That is why even Jyotisha is part of the Sadanga. One of the Angas, Upanga of Veda is Jyotisha. So Samvatsara also is from this Brahman alone. And the Yajamana himself, as I told you in the beginning, Yajamanasya, and the Lokaha, and wherever you want to go, correct, the Sadhya is also this Brahman alone. And what type of lokas? There are different lokas are there talked about in the Veda up to Brahma loka. So Somo yatra bhavate yatra Surya. So where the Surya and Chandra their rays are blessings, like that we can take. Or where Surya and Chandra are the main lights. You can take it like that. So that those lokas, the Punya Loka, the Swarga Loka, all the lokas are also from this Brahman alone. So the idea here is, even for the Vaidika who is committed to doing all this Vaidika karma, the Upanishad is showing that everything is from Brahman alone, including all your Vaidika karma, whatever sadhana is talked about there, that is from Brahman. Whatever is the sadhya, that is also Brahman. So that is the main thing here. Continuing, Tasmacha Deva Bahuda Samprasutaha Sadhya Manushya Pasavo Vayamsi Prana Pano Vrihi Avo Tapasya Shraddha Satyam Brahmacharyam Vidishya. So here same thing is continuing here. All the things related to a Vaidika karma are all talked about here. Okay, they are all from this Brahman alone. Okay, so that is the idea here. So if you see here Tasmat, again from that Aksaram Brahma alone, all these things have come. What? Samprasutaha. Here explicitly it is saying they are all born. Samprasutaha means different things are born. And how? Bahuda Samprasutaha. In many different forms they are born. The Devas. Okay. So Devas themselves, in fact, to the Devas only we give all the Ahuti, correct? So the Devas themselves are born from this Brahman alone. Because in Vaidika karma, they give the oblations to the different Devas. So, Agneye idam namama, Vayave idam namama, like that, Suryaya idam namama. For different Devas like Agni, Vayu, Surya, Indra, the oblations are given in the fire. Now those Devas are also this Brahman alone. So they are all exalted Jiva. The Devas are all exalted beings. They have done lot of punya to attain that particular position of being a Deva. But they are also beings only. They are all born of this Brahman alone. They are Brahman alone in reality. So Tasmat Devaha. So different types of Devas are born. Bahuda Samprasutaha. Sadhyaha. Sadhyaha also are one type of celestial beings only. They are a type of Devas. They are also born of this Brahman alone. So Deva clearly, Manushyaha, Pashavaha, all the animals, whether it is domesticated animals or wild animals, all animals are also Brahman. And Vayamsi means actually crow. Okay? But here we have to take it as all birds and the reptiles and all that, other animals, covering the entire, whatever we see, the forms of life on this earth and maybe somewhere else also. So the idea here is all beings are from this Brahman alone. Okay, they are all born from this Brahman. So here again, even these beings are all talked about. They are also related to the Vaidika ritual, understand that, because Devas are the ones to whom we give the oblation. Manushya, they are the ones who are actually doing all the karma, correct? Only the human beings have the qualification to do the Vaidika karma. Animals cannot do any Vaidika karma, but they are also important because different animals are involved in the ritual. So in some ritual you have to take the heart, tie it in a particular manner, all these things are there. Or even you have to go and give so many cows as dakshina. So animals are also important in all this Vaidika karma. And even different birds, even the bali we give, crows are important for that. Okay. So like this, all these beings of course are talked about, but they are also relevant in the context of the Vaidika karma here. And then prana apanau, vrihi yavau, tapasya. So here, the life breath itself, prana and apana. Okay, prana means the air which you take in, and apana means the one which you give out. The life breath itself is Brahman. Without prana being there, you can't do any karma, correct? Without the prana, there is only dead body. So the prana, the life itself is nothing but this Brahman. So prana panau. Then how do you give all these oblations? For that you require different grains, correct? Particularly vrihi means rice, yava means barley actually. So vrihi yavau means here all different grains which are used to make the Vaidika, what we call as havis. Okay. So havis means you cook these grains and maybe even mix it with some ghee, and that is offered as the oblation. Again, there are different rules are there for different karma, how you have to cook the grain. All these things, lot of rules are there in doing all this karma. It's not very simple. That's why we have a whole Purva Mimamsa Shastra is there. Understand that. In fact, the Purva Mimamsa Shastra is more complicated even than Vedanta, I think, because they argue a lot about even small things to actually find out what the Veda wants us to do. Because they will take a particular section and see again the same. Last time also I talked to you about the Shadlinga, correct? Now the Shadlinga and all were actually, they are all used by the Purva Mimamsakas, and we simply borrow all these tools from them when we use it in Vedanta also. So Shadlinga means what? Upakrama Upasamharo. So how does a particular section start? How does it end? So Upakrama Upasamharo we have to see how a particular section starts, how a particular section of the Veda ends, and within that they look for something called Ekavakyata. So this whole section, does it talk about a particular subject matter or not? So Ekavakyata is important. So Upakrama Upasamharo is one thing, how it starts, how it ends. Abhyasa, what is repeatedly told. Okay, from that only in fact you will have an idea what it is trying to reveal. So Abhyasa, Apurvata. And what is being told, it is just a restatement of something already known, or is it something totally new? In fact, for it to be a Pramana Vakya, we say that Apurvata is very important. It should not be already known to you by any other means of knowledge. Then only it is a Apurva. Then only Veda itself is a means of knowledge, correct? So, that Apurvata is another important linga, indication. And Abhyasa, Apurvata, Phalam. Phalam again. Anything revealed by the Veda has to be Phalavat. It has to have some purpose for us, correct? Veda is a deliberate means of knowledge. It's not like your nose. Even if you don't want to smell, sometimes we have to, we smell certain things and it is nasty, so we even have to close our nose. So because the sensory perception is automatic most of the time. If your mind is aligned, then it will happen. The knowledge takes place. But Veda is a means of knowledge made up of words. And those words are used deliberately. So since it is a deliberate means of knowledge, whatever it is revealing should have some meaning. It has to be meaningful. It cannot be meaningless. So a lot of effort is in fact put in, even if some sentence is there, then they try to make a meaning out of that. Okay. So they will relate it with the karma to be done and try to find a certain meaning. So like this phalam is an important thing. Why we have to, or whatever is revealed, if you do that karma, what will be the phalam? Also has to be revealed by the Veda itself. So as I told you already, both the sadhana and sadhya are revealed by the Veda only in the Purva Bhaga. So the sadhya is mostly the phalam. So abhyasa, apurvata, phalam. Then arthavadopapatti, lingam tasparya nirnaye. Like that there is a verse there. So arthavadaha means sometimes Veda even tells you some story or some praise. It will praise the Yajamana or the Devata or even the phalam, so that you are interested to do that, correct? So all this praise also you have to understand which vakya are in praise, so that does not form the main meaning. So wherever some praise is there, some other analogy is used, all those things you have to identify. And Arthavada Upapatti. Upapatti means actually analogy, because Veda uses some its own analogy and internal logic, you can say, because whatever it has to say has to be internally consistent, and there has to be a certain analogy to understand. For example, even if you take in Vedanta, in the Chandogya Upanishad, or even in our Mundaka-Upanishad also, to explain that Brahman is both the material and the intelligent cause, Veda gave us the analogy of a spider, correct? Because a spider is both the intelligent and the material cause for its own web. And it can spin a web, one yarn of its own web, and even again retract it back into itself. If it is threatened, it will go up. If you come down on a yarn, like holding on to it, then if you threaten it, it will again go up, folding that yarn into its own mouth, I think, and it will just go up. So like that, this entire creation, Brahman is both the intelligent and the material cause. So the whole creation is a manifestation of this Brahman only. It is sustained by this Brahman, and it goes back into that Brahman. For that, the spider analogy is used. Like this, different analogies are used to explain a particular point. Even in Purva Mimamsa also, Upapatti also is important. So these are the 6, you can say, tools used to understand the Veda. Now they are all important, and that's why this Purva Mimamsa Shastra, they have done lot of, even Veda as a pramana, how to approach the Veda, everything we borrow from them. Only thing is, they have a certain conclusion about Vedanta which we don't accept, in fact. So they say Veda means Amnayasya Kriyartatvat Anarthasyam Atadatthanam. Like that there is a Vakya is there. So Amnaya is another word for Veda. So they say that Veda means it is Kriyartatvam only is important. It is related to doing something. Karma, Vaidika karma alone is important. So Amnayasya Kriyartatvat Anarthasyam Atadarthanam they say. So everything else are all meaningless. So whatever the Veda is revealing has to be related to some karma. So that is their argument. So even factual statements like Tattvamasi, okay, or Aham Brahmasmi and all, they just take it as a Upasana Vakya. So they say that, okay, the Yajamana is praised as Brahman. Either they will take it as Arthavada, as a praise, or they take it as a Kriyapadam. They will say that you do Upasana, that I am Brahma, Aham Brahma, because there are different types of Upasanas are talked about in the Veda. So there is something called Sampat Upasana. Sampat Upasana means, you can say that Shaligrame Vishnum Dhyayami. Like that you can take a Shalagrama and do Upasana of Vishnu on the Shalagrama and do Puja, all that you can do. Then there is something called Ahangraha Upasana. So you can yourself, you superimpose deliberately something on yourself and do upasana. This kind of upasana also is there. And then there are phala is told, like if you do this upasana, you will go to this loka or Brahma loka, like that, different results are talked about. So, but that is where they have a problem in fact, because all these factual vakya which are talked about in the Vedanta, the phalam also is given immediately as moksha. So you don't have to do anything more. You have to understand this fact, that understanding itself is the result. It gives the result also immediately. Sadhya mukti and all we talked about. So between the knowledge and the result there is no gap. There is no temporal gap. It is immediate. And that means there is no karma involved in that. Because the problem, if it is one of ignorance, the solution can only be in terms of knowledge. There is nothing you have to do. It's only a question of knowing. So that is how Shankara argues a lot. In fact, in the different Shankara Bhashyas, lot of effort and argument, in fact, lot of effort is put by Shankara to argue against all these Purva Mimamsakas. Because they were the main people whose views had to be opposed at that time. Okay. So anyway, coming back here, the Vrihi Yavo. So we were talking about how in the context of a Vaidika karma, you require this service, and those to make those things you have all these grains. Then tapas. Now tapas again, Shankara here talks about two types of tapas. Okay. So one is before doing some karma, to purify yourself you have to do some tapas, like maybe you fast. So before the day of a particular ritual you may be asked to do some fasting. That is also tapas. Tapas as a purificatory step as part of a Vaidika karma. Or tapas itself you can do to attain some loka, because even doing some upasana is considered as a tapas. And the upasana has its own independent result, okay, where you may go to a particular loka like that. So two types of tapas are there, like that Shankara explains here. Then Shraddha. So Shraddha also is very, very important, even more important in Purva Mimamsa. Understand that. Because for a Vaidika, Shraddha is the main thing, because as I told you already, both sadhana and sadhya are revealed by the Veda alone. So you have to consider the Veda as a means of knowledge, valid means of knowledge. Otherwise, if you don't have that Shraddha, you cannot be a Vaidika. Because obviously you can't see any connection between the sadhana and the sadhya. So Veda says, let us say, as I told you already, Swarga Kamaha Jyotishtoma Yajeta. So Jyotishtoma means then there is a Iti Kartavyata is given there. How to do it? That is also given by Brahman alone. It is all from Brahman alone we have to take. So how to do a particular thing? And in that what it says, okay, you chant this mantra and put this oblation into the fire. Then what is the connection between that and going to some particular Swarga Loka? You can't see any connection, correct? You have put the oblation into the fire, it becomes ash. That much only we can see. But then, by doing that karma, a particular punya is getting added to you, and that punya phala will take you to Swarga Loka and all, is all pure Shraddha alone. Understand that. And it is even indirect knowledge, because it is something to be believed. You can never prove it. Okay? But as long as it is not disproved by some other means of knowledge, you can believe. Understand that. Because as students of Vedanta, we should also be clear about what to believe and what not to believe. It's a very important thing, subtle thing. Because even other theologies ask you to believe so many things. So you can also say, why can't I believe? Of course, as long as something is there which can neither be proved nor disproved, then it is a matter of belief. You cannot go and argue on that. Understand that. So for example, Swarga itself, you can't go to somebody and say there is no Swarga, because you have no way of disproving the existence of Swarga. Similarly, the other person also has no way of proving the existence of Swarga. So it is whatever is not a matter for either proof or disproof is to be believed. It's okay. It has to be believed. That is why Shraddha is important. But if whatever they say is illogical, if it goes against whatever existing knowledge, then it cannot be believed. For example, some people talk about eternal hell, eternal heaven and all that. Now there is nothing called eternal heaven. Eternal heaven means it has to be beyond time, I think. You cannot, anything in time has to end with time. It cannot be eternal. Understand that. It is illogical. So eternal heaven, eternal hell and all is illogical. Just because you don't believe in somebody, you will burn eternally in hell means it is illogical, correct? And they further say that God is merciful and all that. So I don't know what logic they have, and that's the kind of theology is laughable in fact. So if somebody is saying something which is illogical, that is not believable. Whatever is illogical it's not even a subject matter of belief. It is something wrong, it is error. So whatever can neither be proved nor be disproved alone is a matter of belief. That has to be clear to all of us. So here anyway, Shraddha is important for a Vedika. If you don't have Shraddha, you can't take all this effort, correct? Lot of effort goes in doing a Vedika karma. Sitting in front of the fire itself is not easy, understand that. And again, getting all the different materials which are used in the yaga, you have to put in a lot of money also. Ghee is not very cheap. So all this effort you have to put, all the money you have to put, and without Shraddha, you cannot do any of these things. And that Shraddha itself is a manifestation of Brahman alone. Satyam. So again, Satyam is a important word here. Okay. So Satyam means what? Here we have to take it as the order of Dharma. Satyam, Ritam and all they talk about in the Veda. So there is a certain order. In fact, our Swamiji, my Guru, one of the important things which he used to talk about is understanding this entire creation as a manifestation of Isvara. But just saying that is not enough. Each and everything in this, all the laws are nothing but manifestation of Isvara alone. So there is if you take the astronomy, means there is an astronomical order is there. That's why different planets are going in some orbits. You are able to calculate their orbits. You are able to send a spacecraft from Earth to Mars, means lot of calculations are involved. And if there is no order, you can't do anything, correct? Even if let us say today gravitational force has a certain thing, a certain 9.8 and all is there, correct? Then, let us say tomorrow it becomes 9.9, means you can't do anything, correct? You can't build any machines in fact, if it keeps changing. Even if all these physical constants and all, if they change even a bit, you can't do anything. There is no science then. If there is no order, there are no laws. and it will be chaos. So there is a particular order, whether it is astronomical order, physical order. So then there is a mathematics also involves all types of order only, correct? So there is a certain beauty in that. And that is also a manifestation of Isvara. Chemistry means again chemical order is there. If you bring two chemicals together, a particular reaction happens under a particular condition. All these things are predictable again. So all the entire chemical order also is nothing but manifestation of Isvara. Then there is a biological order also is there. So different species are there. They themselves have a certain physiological order also is there amongst all these beings. That's why we are able to test in a rat and then use it in a man also. Or you take it to some chimpanzee, whatever is genetically nearer to us, you can do all types of animal testing and all because there is a physiological order. So you can have with a certain assurance you can say if it works in a monkey, it has to work in a human being. Why? Because there is a physiological order inside. Okay, so all these things are different orders are all nothing but manifestation of Isvara only. Even your own desires are nothing but manifestation of Isvara. There is a Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti we talk about. All these things are nothing but manifestations of Isvara only. So that's the psychological order. The psychological order also is important for us to understand. So why we think the way we think? Why others are having a certain thinking and reaction and all that? Because everybody is having a particular background. So we have to look one step further. Even if somebody is irritating you, they are talking to you in a particular manner, they are behaving in a particular manner, then how do we deal with them? So if you think that they are hurting you, means you will have pain. Okay? So if you instead look one step further and try to understand that they may have a certain background because it's all part of the same order of the Isvara only. So if you try to understand their background, maybe you will be able to accept their behavior. Of course, it doesn't mean that you do not have to take any action. There are two things are there. People confuse here also. One is, if you try to understand the other person, then you need not take it personally and become a victim. Okay, so you can come out of victimhood. You need not feel psychological pain because somebody is acting in a particular manner. So that will help you. But that doesn't mean you should not take any action. If somebody is doing something wrong, you have a duty to explain to them. Maybe even tell them that you don't want to get involved in that. Or you can tell them to go away and come back later once they are okay. Things like that. You have to take some action. Okay. So that is not wrong. You can take action. But you don't have to react in pain or in anger. So that is the thing we have to understand. So there is a psychological order. So if we are able to understand our own reactions are also part of the psychological order, if you are able to look at it that way objectively, maybe you will change yourself. There will be a cognitive change within yourself and you can also become a mature person. So a mature person means what? You are not subjected to any hurt, pain. Then you are able to act rather than react in a situation. And you are not agitated easily in any particular situation. These are all signs of maturity. So that is something we have to cultivate. Okay, that is what the value of values and all we saw. All the values are also from Isvara only. Understand that. Even when we talk about tapas, shraddha, these are all values also. Correct? When we talk about value of values, also the same things we discussed there. So all the values are also from Isvara only. And that's why when you have When you live your life according to these values, you are in touch with Isvara really. That's why you feel good, in fact. Okay, but if you want to live your life according to your own likes and dislikes, if you give in to them, then although you feel that you are fulfilling your desire, maybe after you fulfill your desire, that thing is no more important to you. So most of the time what happens, whatever you want, you desperately try to get it, even doing wrong things, let us say. But after you get it, it is no more the same thing. And you have done all the wrong things to attain it also. That means you have rubbed people in the wrong way, etc., etc. You have rubbed dharma itself, the order. So if you go against Isvara's order and go along with your likes and dislikes, means you are going to have a difficult life, let us say. Okay? You are not going to have a peaceful life at least. You will be suffering from guilt, you will be suffering from hurt, omissions and commissions, so many things. Problems may be there. Why I did this, why I didn't do this, all these regrets and all will come to you later. But if you go along with the order, that is the dharma. So dharma also is from Isvara alone, correct? The moral order also we have to take into account now. So we were talking about the psychological order, but the psychological order is also related to the moral order, which is dharma, which is what satyam here we have to talk about. Satyam, ritam and all that, the words are used. So this entire order is nothing but Isvara, including all these values. In fact, they are all manifestation of Isvara because we don't even need to be taught about these things. Understand that. Without teaching, we can understand. So nobody needs to teach you that you have to say the truth, or even like you don't have to hurt others, because it's all like golden rule and all we talk about, correct? Whatever you want others to do to you, you also are expected to do the same towards the others. So this itself will bring in lot of universal values automatically. Okay, so many of the universal values need not be even taught; they are actually manifest in ourselves. Okay, we know it innately. So we are born with that knowledge. So that is why it's an expression of Isvara. That's why you cannot even claim ignorance as a defense, even in a court of law. Understand that. Ignorance of law is not a defense. Because you innately know what is right or what is wrong. That is what we call conscience also. Correct? There is a conscience, manasakshi and all we say in India. So this conscience is nothing but Isvara manifests in yourself. Okay? And giving you this innate understanding of what is right or wrong. Of course, sometimes you can be confused. If you are confused, then you have a duty as a human being to go and ask others, the elders or your gurus, who will guide you properly. There are dharma sankatas there. Or sometimes there are choices are there, correct? Both are right. Which one should I choose? That is also there. But there is never a choice between right and wrong. Understand that. If you are a mature person, you cannot have a choice between something which is right and something which is wrong. The choice is only between two things which are right. Between right and wrong, always right. In spite of your likes and dislikes, if you are always able to do the right thing in a particular situation, you are a mature person. That is what we have to aim for. That is the growth we are talking about. Even as a mumukshu, why we are saying you should not go along with your likes and dislikes? See, desire itself is not a big deal. Understand that. Because Bhagavan says, Dharma aviruddha kamosmi bharatarshava. So I am the kama, the desire in you. But dharma aviruddha, he puts one qualification there, an adjective. So the desire which is not opposed to dharma, that desire I am in you. That is the Isha Shakti, correct? Only human beings can desire for Chinese food. A cow has no idea about Chinese food or South Indian food or idli or dosa and all that. It doesn't have the capability to desire for an LED TV, for example. A human being only can desire for iPhone, iPad, whatever, Chromecast. So many things are there nowadays, gadgets and electronics and cars. So all this is a Shakti. And Isvara is manifest as this desire. Nothing wrong in having your desire. But if it is dharma viruddha, means you are now going against the order. And you are going along with your likes and dislikes. So if you are ready to do something wrong to achieve your likes and dislikes, then it is greed. It is no more a desire. Understand that. And greed is a problem. It will lead you and others also into undesirable situations. So we have to guard against that. So that is what you have to understand here. You can see here, Satyam, Brahmacharyam, again is a value. It's a discipline, correct? Brahmacharya means what? Brahma means Veda. Brahmam Karati, the one who goes to study the Veda, one who wants to attain or obtain this knowledge in the Veda is a Brahmachari. So Brahmacharyam is that abstract of that. So Brahmacharya means what? The discipline involved in studying the Veda. See, again, normally the Brahmacharya ashrama is when you are in teenage. So during teenage you have so many other distractions. But still you want to study the Vedas, let us say. So study is important for you. Means then that is the discipline we are talking about. That also is a manifestation of this Brahman alone. Vidhi means what then? So this is the iti kartavyata I talked about. See, in the Veda, in the Purva Bhaga particularly, different vidhis are there. How to do a certain karma. How many oblations, what kind of this Vedi, the altar, fire altar you have to make, how many bricks have to be there. So many details are there. What dakshina you have to give, how many priests have to be there. Like that, all these things, details are all called vidhi. So all these things are from this Brahman alone. So the idea of this particular mantra is what? Again, to show that whatever a Vaidika may think is important, all these things are from this Brahman alone. Brahman is the cause of everything. All these things are manifestations of Brahman. And if you are able to see this entire thing as Brahman, then what happens? All these things are nothing but Mithya. That's what we have to understand. Because this is what we call as Badhayam Samanatikaranyam. Understand that. So normal Samanatikaranyam means if you say rope is red, means roseness and redness are there in the same substantive. That is called Samanatikaranyam. Okay, Samana Adhikaranam is there. So both the roseness and redness are there in the same Adhikaranam, same substantive. But if you say the snake is rope, means, or if I say the elephant is stone, correct, I was giving you an example. Or I say the bangle is gold. These are all what? Badhayam Samanatikaranyam. Because if I say the snake is rope, the snakeness itself is denied. Because in our understanding of rope there is no snakeness. Similarly, even when I say the elephant is stone, then what? The elephantness is denied. Although the form may still be visible, But that form is now only a form, correct? It is not taken as reality. It has lost its reality. The reality is only the stone. And in our understanding of stone, there is no elephant nest. Similarly, if I say bangle is gold, there also bangle is only a form. Bangle is no more a substantive. In my understanding of goldness, there is no bangleness involved in that. When I understand gold, I understand it as gold. I don't have to understand it as any particular form. So, that is what is called Badhayam Samanadikaranyam. So, when we say all this is Brahman alone, then all this is negated. Their reality is negated. They are not as real as Brahman at least, correct? They are, for their very existence, all these names and forms are dependent on Brahman. So that is what we have to understand, and by knowing that Brahman, you have as well known everything. You are a Sarvajnaha. So if you know all that is here is Brahman, then you are a Sarvajnaha. You know everything. Because everything is nothing but one thing. And that one thing is nothing but you. That is the teaching. So we have to understand that. So we will continue with this in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay, we'll see next week.